Hi everyone, I hope you're well, and today I'm going to talk about a subject that causes a lot of confusion and frustration in the guitar world, and that is the subject of modes. I've seen a lot of people get really kind of tied up in modes when in reality, like 90% of what you play in real life, you won't even really need modes. If you've got a decent grasp of the major and minor scales and positions, that's pretty much 90% of your playing tied up right there. And I also see a lot of people kind of teaching this really badly, or really irresponsibly, or just playing wrong. So I was watching a guy on YouTube the other day, that inspired me to make this video. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was talking about the modes and the shapes of the modes, and he said, basically he said, here's a G major scale, but that's that scale in one area of the neck, and I can't really go anywhere else from that. This is where the modes come in useful, because then I can travel up through the Dorian scale, and then I can travel up through the Phrygian scale, and then I can travel up through the Lydian scale. And that way of thinking about modes is really, really bad. The first thing you've got to remember is that there's only 7 notes that you're playing in a major scale, and there's only kind of 7 variations of those notes. The note order doesn't change. It's just the viewpoint or the home key changes. So the order doesn't change, but the starting point being viewed as home is what changes. So most people will learn modes like the 3 note per string way. I'm going to talk about it as 3 note per strings just now, because that seems to be a really common way of boxing kind of shapes together and putting information in your head. And people learn it really, really badly. So you'll know this shape here. That's G major starting on G. And then people say, right, I can start it on A, and this is the Dorian shape. Then I can start it on B, and this is the Phrygian shape. I'm not going to go any further than that just now, because that way of putting that information in there is it's not correct to think of that shape as a mode. The mode, the first thing you've got to realise is all the modes, they're all they are all each other. So what I mean by that is when this Dorian shape is just the same 7 notes as the G major shape, which is the same 7 notes as the B Phrygian shape. So you need to be thinking that when the chord or what the backing track is doing, if the backing track's in the key of G, all of those notes are going to react differently to the backing track. If the chord's in the key of G, then that shape will have a hierarchy of notes in there, the first, the third, the fifth, to outline the G, and then the other notes of the scale to be decoration to that basic arpeggio. So I'm still in position 1 here. But I can move into the Dorian position if you want. And it's still G major. If I'm still thinking G major, the chords are still G major. All of these notes. G major, I can move to any position of the mode, and they're all going to be just G major. And you can't think of them as the Lydian shape or the mixolydian shape, that's a really damaging and lazy way of thinking. All of the 7 shapes, depending on the chord underneath, will be whatever that mode is. So let me give you an example here. So if you want to view all of these as G major, here's position 1. This is G major still. This is G major for position 3. G major from the 4th position. G major from position 5. G major from position 6. G major from position 7. Then you're back to the start again. And at no point am I thinking of that as being, that's a Lydian shape, that's a Phrygian shape, that's a mixolydian shape. They're all going in as G major, and I'm well aware of where the G major A notes are: the first, the third, the B's, the G, the D's, the G's, where the major 7 is, where the F sharp is. There. So there's G. Fourth, second, third, root, major 7. So I'm thinking in terms of all of the notes as kind of intervals reacting to a G major bass. So here's a rough example, right? So you can see I'm just weaving in and out of the different shapes, and they're all the notes are sounding the same. They're the same group of notes because of the backing that's underneath. So it's got a nice majory happy sound because all the notes are reacting that way to the chords that are underneath. I've seen quite a few people say, like, or I've had students before say, as soon as you move out of this first position, they say, like, oh, but how is the Phrygian working over the major? Like, why are you using B Phrygian and G major? And it's really difficult to get them into that mindset of saying, well, it's all the same. They're all the same order of notes, just depending on the backing underneath. So using that type of idea, if I take the same major scale, the same notes in the major scale, and then view it from A as being the home key, then you would get a different reaction of the notes that you're playing to the chords underneath. This is where you would start viewing all of the same thing, all of the exact same positions from a Dorian perspective. So this is as much a Dorian as what people would say this is the Dorian shape is. So if you hear a backing track with A as the home key, it should sound a wee bit like this. So there's A now. So now all the notes that I'm targeting will be A's, C's, E's, that'll be F sharp for the sixth note to make that Dorian noise. So you can hear as soon as you change the harmony, the notes, the exact same notes all over the neck, the exact same positions, all react differently. If we change the harmony again, let's change it to B. This will give you the Phrygian sound. And then again, all the notes that I'm going to be targeting will be based around B's, B minor, with this wee, that wee kind of C note added, the B flat 9. So you can hear there, that's got a completely different sound again, because the harmony's telling you that is the Phrygian noise. Again, all the positions are exactly the same as each other. It's just your perception of the notes that you're playing are over the B minor, again, are completely different to the standout notes that you would be targeting when it's G major. So I'll run through another one. Here's C Lydian. So this is the viewing the whole thing again. All the same shapes, same arpeggio, same stuff. Just viewing C as being the root. And again, the target notes will be major A sounds against the C, C's, E's, G's. And that F sharp again will be a target over the C to bring out that Lydian flavour. If you don't hit that F sharp, you may as well be just playing C major. So here's what this sounds like. There's C's. That's C arpeggio. You can hear that really fits. Completely different to the G major arpeggio. You can see all the shapes I'm playing are still just those exact same 7 G major shapes, and I'm not thinking of the boxes again individually as that's a Ionian shape, Dorian shape, Phrygian shape. They're all each other depending on the harmony. So the next one would be the Mixolydian shape, D major. again, that's got a massively different, distinct sound from the Lydian scale. Same shapes. It's the harmony that's telling you what mode you're viewing. Let's race through this. Next one, E minor. So again, using the chords from G major, using E minor as the centre point. You can then still use the same shapes, targeting different notes to bring out a kind of darker sound. So again, my targeting notes here would be all around that E minor arpeggio. Whereas in the Mixolydian one, it was all around the D major with that added C. The Lydian one was all around C major with the F sharp. So you can still see all the same boxes still all work. So it's almost like all the scales they're all exactly the same as each other, but depending on the chords underneath, different target notes are going to light up. So when it's over the E minor and stuff, all the E minor arpeggios are the more prominent notes, and the scale notes that are surrounding those should be the ones that are used to kind of decorate those arpeggios. Let's see, the last one will be the Locrian one. F sharp Locrian. You get the idea for that. So you can hear, depending on the harmony, again I'm just repeating myself here now, the harmony underneath is dictating the sound of that scale that it's going to use. So I'm not going to move into anything a bit deeper than that today. It's just the idea of viewing each of those boxes as its own mode is not a correct way to either look at it, view it, or even teach it. They're all the same as each other, and it all goes down to what is happening on the backing track to make those notes react the way they do and give the sounds that they do. If you want to take a bit more of a deeper dive into this and look at the intervals and look at what makes each mode different from each other, then I've set up a SKOOL. So I'll leave the link in the description from that. The SKOOL community is just brand new, but it looks like it's a really good platform to really engage with, almost kind of one-on-one with the community. I can make tailored lessons directly to your needs. Any subject that you're looking for, I can make direct videos addressing that subject to the community. We can do live Zoom calls, live hangouts weekly on there, without having to give like different Zoom links and stuff. Everything can just be done directly on the platform. So I'll leave the link in the description for that, and it'd be good to kind of see some of you over there and go diving a bit deeper into this kind of stuff. So I'll leave you with that just now. Hopefully that's given you some food for thought for the next wee while. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye now.